Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 16 Plus and compare it against the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, I'll probably tell the everyday average person it makes a lot more sense to go ahead and probably, consider both of these options as very good phones. If you're going for iPhone or Android, if you already have an iPhone or Android, just stick with it if you really want to. But if you don't have either one from a completely objective viewpoint, it's very interesting how both these phones compare. The 16 Plus just came out. The S24 Plus has been out for, throughout this whole entire year. So let's go and see how both of them compare. If you want to pick up either one of these phones for the cheapest prices that I find, links will be down in the description. And you can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus came out in January of this year. And on the front of this phone, you're getting a 6.7-inch dynamic LTPO AMOLED display. It's a very good panel. It's 2600 nits of brightness, 120 Hz, 1440p. It is a very good panel. You're getting slimmer bezels, I would say. You're getting a hole punch display, fingerprint sensor in the display. It's a very good type of screen. And I do think if you're going to go through and buy a phone, it's a very good option. I love that type of phone a lot, and they look genuinely very, very good and sharp. It's a very good type of panel. Definitely one of the best panels of this year so far. With something like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and how it compares against the iPhone 16 Plus, the 16 Plus is giving you a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So it is the same exact same size basically. On this phone, you're not getting a 120 Hz panel. It's only 60 Hz on the 16 Plus, and it's only 2000 nits of brightness. So it is already substantially, less in some ways than the iPhone or than the S24 Plus. But on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is that the iPhone 16 Plus is giving you a bigger dynamic island, which is like a bigger hole punch. And, it's just not as good of a panel as the S24 Plus in almost every single way. There definitely is not an advantage. So the S24 Plus, without a doubt on the front, wins for sure. From the body and exterior side, they're both kind of built roughly around the same way. So they both feel very premium, and that is something that's really nice going on for both these phones. The iPhone 16 Plus though is giving you 2 extra buttons. It's giving you the action button that you can assign to different features, and it's giving you a dedicated camera button. That camera button allows you to zoom in and zoom out and, change focus and stuff. It's actually a really nice feature. The S24 Plus doesn't have that. They're both giving you USB Type-C ports on the bottom, which is nice. On the backside, frosted glass backs on the back of both of them. So both these phones feel and look very, very premium. And I do think this, in and of itself, is a very nice thing. Being able to go through and buy either one of these phones that look like that, I genuinely do think is a very, very cool thing. Now, they're both giving you camera setups, dual camera setup on the back of the iPhone 16 Plus, triple camera setup on the S24 Plus. A really big thing to keep in mind here though, is that the iPhone 16 Plus is giving you wireless charging. The Galaxy S24 Plus is giving you reverse wireless charging. So this is something that's really cool inside of the S24 Plus. You can charge, other phones and other devices wirelessly from the S24 Plus. The 16 Plus, you have to use basically like a charger, like a wire charger for it. And that can be kind of an annoying thing. So I would definitely say that is a massive, massive advantage for something like the, Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus than the iPhone 16 Plus when it comes down to it. When it comes down to the price tag though, brand new, both these phones are fairly expensive. The 16 Plus right now is $929, in the brand new market, and the S24 Plus is roughly around the same price. However, the S24 Plus has had more time to depreciate. You can buy that phone for like around $500-ish in the used market on the S24 Plus. So that is a really, really big advantage. Being able to go through and buy a phone like the S24 Plus that's going to be substantially cheaper in the used market, I think is a very good option. So I do think this in and of itself is another very big thing to keep in mind there too. When it comes down to the camera side, this is also something big. The S24 Plus triple camera setup on the backside, wide ultra-wide telephoto lens. The iPhone 16 Plus is giving you a dual camera setup, a wide and ultra-wide camera. Now both can do 4K 60 on the front and the back, which is always beautiful, but the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus can actually give you 8K capability video on the backside. This is a monumental thing to have inside of something like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. It's been there for like 4 years now. With the, iPhone 16 Plus, we still don't have it. We still don't have 8K. And I do think this is kind of a weird thing. I do think Apple should be giving us, 8K at this point on even their flagships. We still don't have it yet. But that is an advantage for something like the Samsung Galaxy, S24 Plus here. I would say camera quality wise, Samsung is probably going to be the better one here, but I do like the iPhone for having that dedicated camera button. I completely forget this camera button even exists because it's just not that big of a feature, but it is a nice to have thing, and I'm sure for a lot of people out there, you might actually end up having that type of feature and you might actually end up enjoying it. So I would say that's a really cool advantage for that phone. Hardware wise, I don't really think Apple has added too much hardware for that phone yet, but between both, definitely in my personal opinion, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is the overall better camera here than something like the iPhone 16 Plus when it comes down to it. So from that side, that definitely kind of covers it up there too. On top of that, when it comes down to software longevity, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is probably going to last just as long as the iPhone 16 Plus. So historically, whenever you would look at a phone before, typically, the Android phones, the Android counterparts wouldn't necessarily last as long as the iPhones. That has completely changed now though. And with something like the iPhone 16 Plus, we could probably assume that that phone is probably going to last just as long, probably as the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus, which is something that's really, really cool. And I definitely love being able to go ahead and buy a phone like the S24 Plus and have it basically last as long as the iPhone 16 Plus. That is something that's really cool. I love being able to purchase a phone like that. And this in and of itself is a really, really cool thing going on for that type of device. None of these phones are perfect or anything, but if you are going to go through and pick up a phone, like I said before, I like having a phone like the S24 Plus that's going to last just as long as the iPhone 16 Plus. Battery size wise, both phones are giving you massive size batteries, but the S24 Plus is slightly bigger. 4,900 milliamp there, 4,674 on the iPhone 16 Plus. In this case as well, I'd probably say with a phone like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus, probably going to have better battery life. It is a bigger size battery. And from the performance side, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is basically giving you that Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset with 12 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 16 Plus was giving you the Apple A18 chipset inside with 8 gigabytes of RAM. And the thing I will probably tell you here is that if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, definitely, once again, without a doubt, these two phones are very fast and very powerful. On the Samsung side, having that Snapdragon chipset, it really is one of the better chipsets out there. And with the mixture of that more RAM in the 120 Hz display, that type of panel definitely looks very, very nice. And I genuinely do love having a phone like that. It looks so good. With something like this, iPhone 16 Plus, I think this phone also looks very nice. It's a very good looking phone. These things look very good. They look very sharp. And if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, these things are also very good options. I genuinely do like having a phone like the iPhone 16 Plus because it is a very fast device. But when I look at these types of phones, I do think probably the S24 Plus might be kind of the faster one here and there, just because the addition of that, display and the fact that it's also giving you that type of capability when it comes down to the, kind of more RAM too. So overall, what I'll probably tell you is that both of these phones are beautiful, right? I like both these phones a lot. If you're going to go through and pick up a phone, I don't think you can make a wrong choice here. But definitely I would probably say that if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, definitely a device like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is more of a flagship. This is a device that's definitely going to be probably, the faster one here in almost every single way. If you're going to go through and pick up a phone, that is the one that would probably the better one here almost every single time. With something like the, iPhone 16 Plus, I feel like this device is very good too. I genuinely do like this phone and it's a really, really good option, but it's a good phone, but I think the S24 Plus is probably the better one here. But if you're comparing the 16 Pro Max against the S24 Plus, that's kind of a closer comparison. These two phones are a little bit different in my opinion. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there too. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.